Hello. Today we will be reviewing MSDS Online. The purpose of this session is to show you how to navigate the system. By the end of this, you will be able to navigate, open SDS sheets, and print labels. Let's get started. First, let's review briefly the components of a safety data sheet. Below, you will see the new Hazard Communication Program pictograms. This shows each pictogram as well as a brief description of what the pictogram does indicate. This is a great source for reference materials so that we all can understand what these pictograms mean. Next, we are reviewing the sections of the safety data sheet. This will be each section listed on the sheet, and we'll look closer at this in some specifics later on in this training. The next reference material is Hazard Communication Safety Data Sheets, and this again reviews the sections and components of SDS sheets. Now let's jump in and look at MSDS Online. Using the link provided or the bookmark that you have saved to your computer, you will be able to see our specific site view. There are three ways to search when you are using MSDS Online. The first way to search would be by searching by the search bar here at the top. The next way to search is by all products, or you can search by a catalog of what letter the product you're searching for starts with. Let's look at all products. By clicking on the icon on the side of the screen, we then see everything that is within our e-binder. This is every chemical that we have indexed. Another example would be if I want to find a specific cleaner. So let's use the example of lavender multi-purpose cleaner. If I click on the L, I will find all cataloged chemicals for the letter L. The first one being lavender multi-purpose cleaner. In this search, let's look for lavender multi-purpose cleaner using our search bar. As I begin to type lavender, you will see that the name auto-populates. Clicking on that auto-populated name and hitting the search bar will show me that specific chemical. Once you have found the product that you search for, you will be able to view the SDS sheet by clicking on the PDF box. Viewing the PDF will provide the most thorough information regarding hazards and first aid measures. Clicking on this arrow box in the upper right-hand corner will open the SDS sheet into a new window where you can read more thoroughly all the information. As we referenced a minute ago, you can see all the same information that we discussed. Product and company identification, hazards identification. This is where you will find your precautionary statements, GHS classifications, and all that additional information is listed. Again, the SDS sheet is the most thorough place to find the information. Another reference tool for a very brief summary, more of an at-a-glance summary of the product, would be just clicking on the product's name. When I do that, I see very basic information, and it should have GHS information and precautionary statements listed here. So here's our precautionary statements down here, and here is our GHS classification here. Again, this is, at a glance, you're going to get your most thorough information by looking at that individual SDS sheet. I'm going to jump forward a few slides and just show you. We have created a reference material that each team member will have access to just show all of those things that I've already covered in a more thorough manner, so you have a reference material there on site for you to use. The next section that we want to talk about, now that you know how to navigate and you could find a specific product, let's discuss labels for secondary containers. So a few examples. When do I need a label? I have all-purpose cleaner and I'm going to pour it into a spray bottle. Yes, I would need a secondary container for that spray bottle. Example 2, I'm pouring floor cleaner into a mop bucket to mop the floor. I'm going to use that immediately. No, a label is not needed. As long as it's not being stored in that mop bucket, it would not be needed. It's being used. I'm going to dilute ProClean, which is a cleaner for ACs, into a spray bottle to be able to keep in that spray bottle and have ready to use as needed. Yes, a secondary container label would be needed for that sprayer. Lysol is in the cabinet and it's in the original spray bottle and the label is intact and could be read. No, a secondary container label is not needed because that information is already on the product. Printing labels. Again, the presentation that we will provide to each one of you will give you specific slides to show all of this. But I'm going to show you in live action. So let's go back to MSDS and we're going to go back to the main search and let's find a couple of examples of items that we may want to print labels for. I'm going to click on all products on the left-hand side. In our example provided, we are looking for 3 chemicals that we would like to print labels for. Disinfectant cleaner, fresh citrus is our first one. So I'm just going to scroll through until I see that particular chemical. And I'm going to click the checkbox on the left-hand side. The next one is going to be that lavender multi-purpose cleaner. And I'm going to click the checkbox. Lysol disinfectant spray. I'm going to click the checkbox. So now I've decided that I have 3 chemicals that I would like to print labels for. On the right side, when I was just picking one, you'll see there's a little arrow here, and you may or may not have this expanded. If it's not expanded, that's okay. We're going to just click on the arrow to expand, and it'll say print labels, and it tells us that we have selected 3 labels for printing. I'm going to click the print labels button, and the next screen is our default template. So we, as a company, have decided what we would like to show on every label. So we will just click on default label, and the next screen shows label specifications and select print options. So there's nothing that you need to do with this label section or the select print options. The only choice that you need to make on this screen is to select starting label. So if I have a sheet and this label has already been used, I can choose to start printing over here. If I want it to print here because I've used all these, I can print from here. Just pick wherever you'd like the labels to start printing from. And when you do that, you hit Generate Label and Open. And now you see an example, and this is what it would look like when you're ready to print. And you can see we have our Lysol disinfectant spray, our lavender multi-purpose cleaner, and our disinfectant cleaner fresh citrus, the 3 choices that we made on that previous screen. You need to load your labels into your printer, and then you just simply hit print, and you will have the labels that you need. There is a specific template that you do have to use, and those labels are available to you to reorder on your monthly supply order. Additional notes on printing labels. The product must contain GHS classifications in order for a label to be generated. Please check the SDS sheet if a label does print blank. So if that product is not hazardous, the label is going to print with only this gray bar across the top to identify the cleaner. So if you are putting it in a secondary container and you want to know what's in that container, you may still need to print that blank label so it does show the chemical name. But if there's nothing there, that's why. You can also print an individual label by using the product search field to find the specific product. You would follow the same directions as we have just described. In your handout, there is some additional information and resources available. Again, all of those steps on how to print a label that we just covered are in your handout. There is also some more reference materials based on label definitions and how to understand what those labels are saying. This is a really great sample label to show you how to read a label and what could be on the label of the product that you have just selected. And final notes, our e-binder contains products that have been identified as part of our past or current inventory. If a current product is being used on site and is not found in the e-binder, a request should be sent for addition. Any request for addition to the products currently available on MSDS Online will be sent via email to the Regional Facilities Manager for approval. Once approved, they will be added by the SDS Administrator. All current employees must be trained on how to access and search in the MSDS Online portal. An employee sign-in sheet for training is required. Newly hired employees are trained on MSDS and safety as part of their new hire paperwork, and it is the manager's responsibility to ensure training of the MSDS Online portal. Now, the examples that we have showed you today are on a desktop computer, but access to the MSDS Online is available on all of our tablets and service tablets for our employees' quick reference. Thank you for your time and listening to this recording today, and we hope you have a great rest of the day.